Welcome back. This is going to be numbers 11 through 19. So, students at Story High School were surveyed. The results are displayed below. We're going to use the table below to answer questions 11 through 19. So, this survey surveyed freshmen and sophomores. We can kind of see that on our column on the left. Okay? Freshmen and sophomores were our target audience. And then each one, they want to know if you were in a club or not in a club. It's going down. Sorry. So if you're in a club, you're in this column. Not in a club, you're in that column. Freshman is this row, and sophomores is this row. And then, of course, this is our marginal frequency, and total number of students surveyed was 50. What is the probability that a randomly selected student is in a club? So that's anybody in a club out of the whole student population. So the probability is 28 out of 50, which when you math frac is 14 out of 25, which is 56%. Now, guys, I did not do the math frac before I sat down to record this video, and my calculator is not within shouting distance. So I have the correct percentages, but I will not have the correct math frac all the time. So if I jack something up, we're going to try not to. But if I do, please, please, please do not hammer me. Okay, what's the probability that a randomly selected student is a freshman in a club? So a freshman that is in a club. Okay, so that is a joint frequency. So freshmen that are in club would be 10 out of the whole student population. I think I got this one. Math frac, 1/5, or about 20% of the students surveyed. Okay, the percentages are going to be on because that's what the answer key's got, but it ain't got reduced fractions. What is the probability that a randomly selected student is in a club given they are a freshman? Now it gets a little squirrely. Okay, now we're going to start reducing. Okay, so probability club given freshman. Okay, so again, we can set it up with probability of club and fresh over just the probability of fresh. Okay, so we go back to our joint probability, the one we just found. The probability that we're in a club and a freshman was 10 out of 50. Divided by just being a freshman would be 25 out of 50. Okay. Pop that right into the calculadora. Okay. You're going to end up with 10 over 25. Math bracket reduces down to, what, 2/5? Which is approximately 40%. But remember, guys, when we have these frequency tables, this number right here was already given to us. So if we go to our given block, that's our freshmen. That's what it basically reduced our population. Of our freshmen, which was our given, so it took our whole population, reduced it to just freshmen, there's 25 total. And that's our denominator. And then of those 25 freshmen, 10 of them were in a club, which is our numerator. So guys, you can do it with the formula, which is the way I just showed you, or you can get that directly from our frequency table. 14. What is the probability that a randomly selected student is a sophomore given they're a club? Okay, so this time, instead of going with the formula, I'm going to do it strictly based on the frequency table. The formula will still work. I'm going to set it up like we want to. So probability, sophomore, given club. Okay? Now, I'm only going to take the students that are in a club. So when I look at my in a club column, I've got 28 students. Of those 28, so basically, remember, a given basically shrinks our population. Of those 28, how many of them are sophomores? Well, that answer is 18. Okay. What do you think? Divide both by 2 gives me 9 over 14, which is approximately 64%. Okay. Now, instead of writing it all out, they've kind of just shrunk it down for us. Probability of sophomore given they were not in a club. So our population now has been reduced to not in a club. So how many kids were not in a club? So when I go look at my frequency table, I've got 22 students who are not in a club. And of those 22, how many are sophomores? The answer is 7. I'm pretty sure that's pretty reduced. And that is 32%. Find the probability of F and N. So now we don't have a given, so we're not reducing. We're just strictly talking about joint probability. Probability of F and N is, so we need freshmen and not in a club. Okay, so we go right to our handy dandy frequency table, and there's our joint frequency, 15 that are freshmen and not in a club. So we're going 15 out of 50. Divide both by 5. I get 3 out of 10. That's not right. Is that right? Yeah, that looks right. Which is 30%. Okay. Find the probability of sophomore or in a club. Now this one's a little different. So we're going to take all the sophomores, which was 25 students, all of the club, which was 18 students, and then now remember, with this one, these are not mutually exclusive, so we've got to watch the overlap. So we've got to get, we can't double count somebody. So when we say 28 sophomores, or 25 sophomores and 28 students in a club, we are double counting the 18 students that are in both. So we're going to go ahead and take them out of there. Okay. So that means 35 out of the 50, which again divide by 5, so 7 out of 10, 70%. What is the probability that a randomly selected student is only a freshman? Well, guys, this is just simple geometric probability. It looks exactly like the first question. Oh, just a club. Okay. So 25 out of 50. Is it 25? Yep. Or 50%. Which MathFrak gives us 1/2, right? Sorry. Okay, and last one, probability that a randomly selected student is a freshman or is not in a club or is both. So not a freshman would be the 25 sophomores. Not in a club would be those 22 students who said they were not. And then we got to take away the 15 students that are both not in a club and freshmen. So that gives us 32 out of 50. We divide by 2, 16 out of 25. Oh gosh, I think that's it right there, right? So we'd say 64%. Alright guys, that concludes this video. Thanks for staying with me. The next one will come up shortly.